You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I just want to ask you, do you know why you're here?
No, I don't.
I can see right by your expression, you got a lot of questions to ask us.
You need to man up and start talking to us.
I have no explanation to give you for something I didn't do.
It was like his soul was dead.
He prayed at night, trolling the streets of South Central LA.
The Grim Sleeper.
Grim Sleeper.
Grim Sleeper. A woman's body was found in an alleyway near Vermont and Gage. She had been there for days. She was badly decomposed. She's been shot 3 times into the chest. The bullets were fired from a .25 automatic. The detectives had the bullets recovered from the body, but no shell casings. It appears that her body had been dumped at the location.
She was very loving and nurturing towards me and my sisters. One day, I went to my mother's girlfriend's house. That evening, my mom said, well, I'm gonna go make a run right quick on the bus. My mother was killed when I was 12. It hurt me a lot, because my mother wouldn't hurt nobody. She was a kind soul. And that's what bothers me. Why would you kill her? You know?
When I looked at the cases from the 80s, the detectives had their second murder victim. She's found under a mattress in an alley. She was shot in the chest, but again, there was no DNA evidence, and there were no witnesses. At that point, we're not any closer than the police were back in the 80s.
You threw a gas tank on top of her, and the only thing you can see out is her feet.
Did you get a look at him?
I didn't see him.
It was under a gas tank. She was shot through the chest. The detectives had the crime scene processed for evidence. And in the alleyway, there were tire tracks around where her body was.
The guy that dropped her off was driving a white and blue Dodge van, 1PZP.
The van was registered to a church about 2 miles away from where the body was. The van was there. The engine was still warm.
It was a Saturday morning. Bill went down to his furniture store. The detectives came by and told him that his daughter, Barbara, had been found dead in an alley. It was just unbelievable. I wanted to scream. My name is Diana Ware, and I'm Barbara Ware's stepmother. But detectives weren't telling us too much of anything.
People were present in the church when the officers arrived. A couple of them had access to the van, and they were interviewed. Gunshot residue tests were conducted, but didn't yield anything.
In the early 80s, Lonnie had got married. He had married Sylvia. They ended up having 2 kids, Crystal and Chris. At that time, he was living a regular life, happy. When he working on cars, his son would be there with him, just regular. But he got a secret. Every other day he would talk about He met this girl and he met that girl.
Bernita Sparks, bodies discovered in a dumpster behind a church. Mary Lowe was found in an alley that was around 92nd and Western. And then Lucretia Jefferson's body was found underneath a mattress in an alleyway. The good news with Barbara Ware, Mary Lowe, and Bernita Sparks was that sexual assault kits had been obtained. Sent those kits to be analyzed for DNA. We're using brand new technology. Hopefully we can develop it into a profile that would lead us to the killer. Unfortunately, his DNA wasn't in our convicted offender database. It was very frustrating. That's all we have, unidentified suspect.
My daughter was my heart. She was 6, 7 years younger than my oldest kids. I would take her with me wherever I go. From day one, my daughter and I was inseparable. As a young girl, she was very studious, but before she got out of high school, she got caught up with some bunch of other girls that influenced her. Getting caught up in the street elements, she had cut school. She began to drift. I've always made a point of letting my kids know, stay away from this, stay away from that. But I couldn't do it all. She just got too tough for me. This particular day, I came home and my daughter came in. My baby was 18 years old. She said, "Dad, I'm going to go to the store. You want anything from the store?" I said, "No, I don't want anything. All I want you to do is go to the store and come back. Will you do that?" She said, "Yeah, Dad, I'll be back. I'm just going to the store." She didn't come back, and that's the last time I saw my daughter.
Some boys saw a foot sticking out from underneath this mattress. Police were contacted. She was probably there for a few days. You wouldn't have been able to recognize her. She was badly decomposing.
When the detective came to my home, my whole world collapsed. It was rough.
With Monique Alexander, we have a witness. She was last seen around 67th and Normandy. She was seen exiting the liquor store and then gets into a car. The witness recalls that it was an orange or rust-colored, and he didn't see who the occupant was. Right then, I'm thinking, that's our killer, and that he's murdering these girls in a car. He's in the driver's seat, practically touching them with the barrel of the gun. It also explains why we don't have any casings at the scene.
My name is Anitria Washington, and I was shot and left for dead by a serial killer. It was a Saturday, around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. I had just got off work. I was going over to my friend Linda's house, and we were going to a party. I was walking past the liquor store over here, and I noticed that this orange Pinto was outside in front, and it was pimped out. It had racing stripes on it. Can I take you where you go? I said, no, I'm going right here, and then I'm going to a party. And then he said, that's what's wrong with you black women. If nobody can never be nice to you. And I was like, oh, wow. And then I got in his car. As soon as he turned the corner, it's like he snapped. He was calling me somebody else's name, and I was like, who are you talking to? And I was like, oh shit, what happened? So I reached for the door, and he said, you open that door, bitch, I'll shoot you again. I'm like, what? You shot me? I didn't feel no pain. I blanked out a while, and I remember coming to, and he was snapping pictures, and I was like, what the The flashes. I remember seeing a lot of flashes. As soon as he started to take off, I reached for the door to try to get out, and he pushed me at the same time the door went open, and I rolled in the street. I happened to look up at the sign. I saw I was near Dinker, and I was like, okay, I can get to Linda's house. And I just laid on her porch.
When she was released from the hospital, they created a composite of the attacker. So we're looking for a black male in his 30s, well-spoken, clean-shaven.
I said he was dressed neat. He was shorter than me because I was in tennis shoes, and I know I stood over him. They asked me, what about the car? What did he look like? And I told them, I said it was a Pinto, orange Pinto.
That moment, that's important. Hey, we're finally close.